Greetings and salutations, one and all. Welcome to Healthy Love right here on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It's a Tuesday night. How you doing? Big ups to each and everyone locked in right now. Those on TuneIn Radio, the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew across the pond, One Harmony Radio, top of the morning to you guys over there in the UK. King Genius, Queen Genius, big ups. Want to say big ups to those on WGLR. The People Station, taking you from the sheets to the streets with the Donnie Walker Morning Show. Touching from Detroit to Denmark and all points in between. Big ups to you guys over there in all of those places. PEMGTV.com. Welcome. And of course, those locked in right here at the home of the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com. Glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you. And guess what? You have my word. I wouldn't even try. Kicking it off with voice. It's called Smile.
This place ain't no better roses. Oh no, still I'm smiling. One thing they can say me hopeless. Oh no, look we smiling. But where I'm from is just love. All our years one in this kind of your vex. I hope you're vex. See where I'm from like diamond. Them can break this once up gold and them on their backs. I hope they're best. Silicone man on a Monday. And look a man on a galley. And he don't even know she name or the way them love up. But that's what I need my way. It's Father who bless me. So the question how we so happy. Truly hardest moments. From toddlers to parents. We smiling. But I will tell them now. Die we. Tell them. Die we. For the big people tell them. Die we. They all in the tough time. Die we. All in the tough time. Die we. All living the best life. Die we. We living the nice life. Die we. I say man in the air when my people jumping up. Jumping up. If you love this place, they must see you on them up. On them up. Say all in the rough time. Die we. All in the rough time. Die we. Show me your best smile. Die we. Show me your best smile. Die we. Say we may not have everything, but we want what we could do. We have plenty to smile for, but we could do. So we may not have everything, but we want. We have plenty to smile for, See where I'm from is woman. Every race and size in this paradise you're vex. I hope you're vex. See where I'm from, we so strong. It's nothing there that could bring me down. You're vex. I hope you're vex now. Silicone man on a Monday. And look a man on a galley. And he don't even know she name or the way them love up. But that's what I need my way. It's Father who bless me. So the question how we so happy. Truly hardest moments. From toddlers to parents. Smiling. For die we. Tell them now. Die we.
Want to say thanks to Pulse Media Group for sponsoring this segment of the show.
Die we. They all in
When being in the moment is priceless.
the tough time. Die we.
Pulse Media Group
Die we.
is who you need to give a call.
I say man in the air when my
They can do everything you see right here on kevinstew.com. Host your website, create your website,
them up.
providing streaming services on your website.
Die we. All in the rough time.
If you want to have your own internet broadcast channel, like internet TV,
Have everything.
yeah, you can get that too. Just give them a call, 754-999-6020. Visit them at paulcmg.com. Say you heard about them on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, yeah?
The smile boy. Die we. Guys, so. Die we. Yo. Die we. Die we. Die we. What's the idea? Die we.
So, what makes you smile? You ever realize how you get up in the morning and you might be a little bit cranky? Or if you get up in the middle of the day, depending on the type of job you have. But if you don't have the blackout drapes and this, you get up and you are greeted with this sunlight, doesn't that put a smile on your face? I know a number of people that it does. You know, the moment they step out of a building into sunshine, it puts a smile on their face. Now, of course, you have some that it looks like a smile because they're squinting their eyes and you can see their teeth, but it's not really smiling. They're smiling. It's just that there's a lot of light in their eyes and they're trying to adjust, so they're squinting and it ends up using all the muscles in their faces. But I guess it's quite similar to smile. We'll just take it as a smile. But that sunlight is very important. Very early in my life, I learned that sunlight gives you vitamin D, and it's a natural source of vitamin D. And vitamin D, I was always told, is important. Now, fast forward a few years, and I am a little bit grown, just a little bit, and here we are facing this situation that is in the news every day, all day, called COVID-19. And for those of you who are looking on the watching me, you notice that I kind of played with vitamin D and COVID-19 for tonight's topic. COVitamInD19. Now you can find COVID in there and you find vitamin D in there. Why? Because it's all kind of blended in tonight. Vitamin D and COVID-19. What's the relationship? Well, there's strong scientific evidence. Vitamin D plays a central role in our immune system and our abilities to fight infections. Now, Ivor Cummins, a biochemist and chief program officer for Irish Heart Disease Awareness, talks about, by way of recent studies, supporting higher levels of vitamin D and how that might reduce the risk of negative outcomes from COVID-19. And he also singles out some conditions associated with low vitamin D levels, such as low sun exposure, insulin resistance, and high levels of inflammation. In 2017, a review of randomized double-blind, placebo-controlled trials using vitamin D2 or D3 was published in the BMJ. The data revealed vitamin D supplementation was safe and it protected against acute respiratory tract infection overall. Vitamin D. They found people who were most deficient experienced the greatest benefit. So there was apparently some groundbreaking new study by an organization that goes by the name Grassroots Health. And some people have gone ahead and ordered vitamin D tests from them in the past, and the funds from those orders were used to do a clinical trial that really could change the entire treatment for COVID-19. A recent clinical trial to investigate the efficacy. I was always fascinated by that word, the efficacy, or the efficacy. It's efficacy, right? Yeah. I digress. A recent clinical trial to investigate the efficacy of, or the effectiveness, why can't they just say effectiveness, of vitamin D against COVID-19 was announced in last month, April 3rd to be exact. And 20 days later, Mark Alipio, who received no funding for his work, published a preprint letter in which he released data from an analysis of 212 people with lab confirmed COVID 19 and for whom there were serum 25 OHD levels available. And he has a whole write up about it. And if I have enough time, I'll go through and present it for you. Now, using a classification of systems based on previous research, he employed statistical analysis to compare the differences in clinical outcomes against the levels of vitamin D. Of the 212 people, 49 had mild disease, 59 had ordinary disease, 56 were severe, and 48 were critical. Now, in the study group of 212 patients, 55 had normal vitamin D levels, which Alipio defined as greater than 30 nanograms per milliliter. 80 had sufficient levels of 21 to 29 nanograms per milliliter. And 77 had deficient levels, which is less than 20. Now, vitamin D levels were strongly correlated to the severity of the illness experienced. It is important to note that most experts consider 30 nanograms per milliliter half of what an optimum vitamin D level should be, which is somewhere in the region of 60 to 80. Of the 49 with mild illness, 47 had normal vitamin D levels. For those who are not so good with math, 96% of the patients with mild illness had normal levels of vitamin D. 96%. This normal, take note again, this normal was above 30, and most experts would raise that to 60. Now, of the combined 104 with severe or critical illness, only 4 had normal levels of vitamin D. So you have 4% of the reciprocal group, or the reciprocal of the mild group. Now, when you look at that, how much stronger a correlation could a scientist hope for when doing a study like this? So Alipio came to the conclusion that this study provides substantial information to clinicians and health policymakers. Vitamin D supplementation could possibly improve clinical outcomes of patients infected with COVID-19 based on increasing odds ratio of having a mild outcome when serum OHD level increases. Further research may conduct randomized controlled trials and large population studies to evaluate this recommendation. The writers of a recent editorial in Alimentary Pharmacology and Therapeutics used a different metric, but they arrived at similar results. They argued a marked variation in mortality occurs above or below 35 degrees north latitude. This is also the line above which it is not possible for people to get enough sunlight to retain vitamin D during the winter months. When the mortality per million is plotted against latitude, the results suggest vitamin D plays a role in the outcome of infections with SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19. Data were gathered from countries reporting more than 150 people infected by April 15, 2020. Although Nordic countries are far north of the demarcation line, vitamin D deficiency is also relatively low, potentially from widespread use of supplements. In countries where deficiency is common, such as Spain and Italy, you see the connection yet? Mortality rates have been higher. The writers stress the importance of vitamin D on the outcome of infection, concluding that while there is modest evidence, it protects against infection. Quote, the hypothesis is not that vitamin D would protect against SARS-CoV-2, but that it could be very important in preventing the cytokine storm and subsequent acute respiratory distress syndrome that is commonly the cause of mortality. A second paper, published in April 2020, hypothesized that vitamin D protects the body against SARS-CoV-2 and sought to assess if there was an association between vitamin D levels and the number of COVID-19 infections. The data included only European countries and found a significant relationship between the mean, the average, vitamin D level and the number of infections. People who were most vulnerable to this respiratory infection were the most deficient. They concluded the results support the advice to supplement with vitamin D to protect against SARS-CoV-2 infection. These results support the 2017 review of studies published in the BMJ that we mentioned before. Yet, there was another paper which evaluated the role of vitamin D deficiency and the role it plays in preventing respiratory infections, and found, guess what? Yet similar results. The researchers wrote that vitamin D had a significant protective effect and reduced the risk of an acute respiratory infection from 60% to 32%. The researchers also wrote vitamin D may help prevent respiratory infections and lower antibiotic use. Huh. Who would have thunk it? Just a little bit of vitamin D? Just going out there and getting some sunlight? You know, these are the things that we have to go, I wonder if. And one of the I wonder ifs that I ask is, I wonder if this information was being spread in mainstream media. If the mass population would view things a little bit differently. I wonder if they paid attention. I might be going off on a little tangent here, but I'm still going to wonder if. I wonder if they paid attention to the recovery rates versus the death rates and ask the question, what do these people have in common? I wonder if they will come up with something like vitamin D levels or regular exposure to sunlight. I wonder if. Don't you wonder? 773-789 Stu gets you in touch. 773-789-7839. You can call, you can text, you can WhatsApp. Use up the number. Jump into the stew pot on kevinstew.com. It's what others call a chat room. We're very fancy over here. It's a stew pot. It's where we keep things bubbling. Come on over, come on in. The water is always fine. Judgment-free zone. Share your views. Let me hear what you have to say. Because, yet again, this is not something that we have been hearing about. What we've been hearing about is, we're looking to release this vaccination. What vaccination? If this is a new virus, and vaccines take, give or take 5 years, about 10 years to develop. Which vaccination? For who to get this thing introduced to their body? You know, I'm sorry. Whomever it is coming to give me that vaccination, I'd have to see them take it first. And if everybody take that position, then that will one overdosed individual. But seriously though, which vaccination? What are they going to come with? And then I must admit, I haven't been following up on this vaccination thing that much, this COVID-19 vaccination, and I probably should be, because I want to know what they're going to come with next. And I'm still trying to figure out the connection between a technology mogul and vaccines. I don't quite get it. Is virus the connection? It's two different types of viruses. One is a computer virus and one is a biological virus. So the two are not the same, other than for a description or a name. But outside of that, they're not the same. Computer viruses don't affect people. Well, they affect you, but they don't infect you. And vice versa. I'm not going to get the flu and then my laptop starts running hot because it contracted the flu from me. That's just not going to happen. So, yeah, I know I'm going off on a little bit of a rant, but it's something that we need to think about. I didn't put it out there today, but I had shared it on social media yesterday, the numbers. And yet again, actually I didn't share it yesterday. Somebody had tweeted about the number of deaths in the United States passing the 80,000 mark. And that was like, oh my goodness. How are we, what are we going to do? We've passed 80,000 deaths in the United States. Well, are you aware that the recovery rate is 3 times as much? Well, actually more than 3 times as much. So it was like 82,000 people dead as of yesterday's numbers, and like 2.6 million recovered, something to that effect. More than 3 times as many people recovering, but we don't hear about the recoveries. What are the people who are recovering doing differently? Or what are they all doing that's similar? Who are the people that are recovering? Because, we've been hearing stories about the ones that, the alleged ones that have been dying. So, if 3 times as many people are recovering than of that or of those that have died, then there's some information that we're not getting. And it's that bit of information that we need to be asking for. In addition to everything else. Not to say that all the other bits of information is not important. But like I've said before, we need to pay attention to what is not being said. Because we're being clouded by the things that are being said. Over 80,000 dead in America. Tragic. Yes. Of that 80,000, how many are assumed? Of that 80,000, how many just have not been tested but have been written a death certificate to say, yes, it is COVID-19 that took this person out? So, how real is that 80,000? We've heard various doctors all over the country state that, and medical examiners stating that, hey, listen, we were told that we should put cause of death COVID-19. But if that wasn't the cause of death, why do you need to put COVID-19 as the cause of death? What, to inflate the numbers? The only thing that is going to do is incite fear. Oh, right. I remember saying something about that fear thing, didn't I? That thing about you create enough fear, then people are going to be begging for a solution. And if the vaccination is a solution, then here comes the people asking for the vaccination. No, you don't have to push your agenda because, hey, they asked for it, so we give it to them. Sound far-fetched, or sound like it makes some kind of sense? Yeah, things that make you go, We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we look at those who are, reported as having the higher rates of infections and how vitamin D plays a role in those numbers. Call a friend, tell a friend. It's Healthy Love right here on the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. We're looking at the relationship between COVID-19 and vitamin D. Hence the title. COVitamInD19. Using up COVID and using up vitamin D. Yeah, I tried. Don't hold it against me. We'll be right back.
Pulsey Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulsey Media Group.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is working to help keep you and your community safe from the threat of novel or new coronavirus. Take the following everyday steps to help avoid the spread of all respiratory viruses. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue. Throw the tissue away and then wash your hands. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects or surfaces, such as remote controls and doorknobs. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. And stay home if you are sick. Call your healthcare provider if you develop fever, cough, or difficulty breathing. For more tips, visit cdc.gov.
I'm Khalib Thompson.
I'm David Muir.
And we are the co-founders of a cultural nonprofit in Florida called Island Space.
For many reasons, now more than ever, we need the support of our communities.
As Caribbean Americans, we have the unique ability to claim everyone from the island as members of our Caribbean American family.
We are working to create a home for that family.
The Island Archives will become an internationally recognized museum of history.
Visitors can learn that although we are unique, we are truly stronger together.
Learn more at islandspacefl.org.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. In history, I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick. And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me.
In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid.
In English,
And in math, I learned that I'm trash.
the only thing I didn't learn in school today.
The only thing I didn't learn today.
The only thing I didn't learn
Is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.
Hey yo, this is Caraman to let you know that right about now you are logged on to DJ Kevin Stew on the Night Shift. Don't move.
To every nurse, every doctor, every soldier, every essential worker, we salute you. Shout out to the K-Plus heroes out there. Just know we appreciate you. Oh yeah, got so the pieces align on the front line. On the front line. So we thank you for your braveness, your courageousness. Come from in your noble acts. You do it selfless, helping out the helpless and defenseless. We could go on and on, the stories are endless. You're relentless in the process. Going in the storm, want us to perform, putting yourself in harm's way. So how could we ever repay all the K-plus heroes out there? Just know we appreciate you.
Want to say big ups to all the K-plus heroes out there. Thank you. The son of James P. Want to say thanks to Althea and her healing heavenly hands. Althea is a licensed massage therapist that comes to you, operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, South Palm Beach counties. She brings her table, her oils, if that's what you call for, and her healing heavenly hands. Only requirement: you get off her table when she's done, and pay her money, of course. So many have fallen asleep on that table. Yes, I'm guilty of falling asleep on that table too. Thank you, Althea. Thank you, thank you, thank you, K-plus heroes. So, a letter to the editor was published in the BMJ. Welcome back to the night shift, by the way. It is Healthy Love Night right here on kevinstew.com, then on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. And we're looking at the relationship between COVID-19 and vitamin D. Hence, the really fancy title you see right here. All right. So, a letter to the editor was published in the BMJ, signed by 30 scientists from around the world, including Ali Pio. They pointed out the disproportionately high number of individuals who are Black, Asian, and minority ethnic. They make up the BAME category, the BAME group, or those living in care homes in the UK who die from COVID-19. They also identified obesity as another risk factor, with comorbid conditions including diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Each group of people, those living in care homes, the Black, Asian minority, and obese, and that's minority ethnic, and the obese, also tend to have lower levels of vitamin D. Huh. Who would have thunk it? The letter included the research results from Alipio's preprint letter, indicating the 30 scientists agreed with how the data was collected and analyzed, as well as the conclusions. The group identified the lengthy process vaccines require and the 100 years of research on vitamin D. They hypothesized that vitamin D has clinical relevance to COVID-19 and may reduce the number of fatalities. Now, although there's a need for clear clinical evidence with research, it is important to note the widespread vitamin D deficiency, including the risk groups that were mentioned. They quote Dr. Hugh Sinclair, who nearly 100 years ago observed the deficiency of any nutrient, which is essential for every tissue, will eventually lead to an abnormal function in every tissue. That is so incontrovertibly obvious. Wow. That I am continually astonished it must be repeatedly, forcefully restated. That's what Dr. Hugh Sinclair said almost 100 years ago. Including the incontrovertibly part. They then went on to give a reason why vitamins have so often been overlooked. Quote, human nature is such that simple solutions to complex issues, for example, vitamin C for scurvy and hand washing prior to baby delivery, are often not readily embraced. But surely the scale and impact of the COVID-19 pandemic demands all avenues are fully explored. More so when no other effective treatment strategies as yet exist. A safe, simple step, the correction of a deficiency state, vitamin D, this time, convincingly holds out a potential, significant, feasible COVID-19 mitigation remedy. End quote. You know, they say there isn't a real solution to this COVID-19 issue. There isn't a real treatment that is out there yet. Well, funny enough, simple things like washing your hands, covering your cough and your sneeze, these simple things help prevent the spread of this virus, which are the very same things that we've been told to do for years to prevent the flu, which incidentally have been killing more people than this virus. But hey, I haven't really checked the statistics on that one recently, so I'll look into that. Yeah, y'all can look out for that post. Others connect the heavy toll in the African American community with an increased prevalence of obesity. Going back to the information here. An increased prevalence of obesity, diabetes, and high blood pressure, which are risk factors for increased severity of COVID-19. In the states of Maryland and Louisiana and the metropolises of New York, Chicago, and Washington, D.C., the percentages of individuals, the black, Asian, minority, ethnic individuals, dying from probable COVID-19 are higher than the percentages of those who live in the area. The percentages of BAME who live in the area. However, while there is a correlation between the higher prevalence of health conditions that increase disease severity in the African American population, there is also a higher prevalence of vitamin D insufficiency due to reduced production. Darker pigmentation produces less vitamin D with exposure to the sun. So, I guess apparently we need to spend a little bit more time out in the sun. But also, let's take a look at something that is not a part of the information that I'm presenting to you, courtesy of Mercola. Where do you find some of the most fast food restaurants? In which communities? Because you have some communities where you can find 1 and 2 fast food restaurants, if you find any. And then you have some communities that are riddled with fast food restaurants. Which communities do you find the most junk food and fast food, and the least stocked grocers with fresh fruits and vegetables? Which communities? I'll leave you to answer that question. And then you use that to connect the dot with obesity and high cardiovascular, high blood pressure, diabetes, increased cardiovascular issues. You connect those dots and see what you get, and then you let me know. Okay. Already going into the stew pot. I'm getting some responses. Yeah. In the minority communities, that's where you find the most junk food. Thank you for that. So, would you then not expect to see some of the numbers that we're seeing in the Black, Asian, minority ethnic communities? Don't you expect to find, fast food and some of these chain stores, corner stores? Hey, listen, I refuse to be a statistic too. So I go ahead and make the difference. I have that discussion in my household, and I share that discussion with my family and friends, which is one of the reasons why I'm sharing it on this show. Because if you tune into this show at any given time, you're a family member. And I'd like to consider you a friend. So we can, as friends, we can debate topics. You may have one view and I may have another. That is how we grow. Differences of opinion doesn't mean that we're not friends. So, yeah. I like that. I like that 1195. I like that. I am the difference. You know, step out and do something. Step up. Stand. And when you stand tall and you stand proud. It doesn't really matter if you're only 4 feet 3 inches tall. Stand tall. Stand proud. Because if you stand for something, then you won't just fall for anything. Others connect the heavy toll in the African American community with an increased prevalence of obesity. What causes the obesity? The very same thing. So the junk food, the lack of fresh fruits and vegetables. You know, it is not cool to be chewing on a carrot stick. No, you need a bag of some type of chips. You need some candy bar. You need some lollipop. That's cool, apparently. Findings from the Irish longitudinal study on aging, tilde. Kind of cool, right? And vitamin D review paper published in the journal Nutrients on April 2, 2020. That also suggest vitamin D deficiency could have serious implications for COVID-19, as reported by Medical Express on April 6, 2020. The report, Vitamin D Deficiency in Ireland, Implications for COVID-19, results from the Irish Longitudinal Study on Aging, TILDA, finds that vitamin D plays a critical role in preventing respiratory infections, reducing antibiotic use, and boosting the immune system's response to infections. With 1 in 8 Irish adults under 50 deficient in vitamin D, the report highlights the importance of increasing intake. TILDA researchers recommend that adults over 50 should take supplements, not just in winter, but all year round if they don't get enough sun. Professor Rose and Kenny, principal investigator of TILDA, said, "We have evidence to support a role for vitamin D in the prevention of chest infections, particularly in older adults who have low levels. In one study, vitamin D reduced the risk of chest infections to half in people who took supplements." Though we do not know specifically of the role of vitamin D in COVID infections, given its wider implications for improving immune responses, at-risk cohorts should ensure they have an adequate intake of vitamin D. The second paper, published in the journal Nutrients, carries the telling title, "Evidence that vitamin D supplementation could reduce risk of influenza and COVID-19 infections and death." As reported in the abstract, this article reviews the roles of vitamin D in reducing the risk of respiratory tract infections. Knowledge about the epidemiology of influenza and COVID-19 and how vitamin D supplementation might be a useful measure to reduce risk. Though through several mechanisms, vitamin D can reduce risk of infections. Those mechanisms include inducing cathelicidins and deficins. These can help lower viral replication rates and reduce concentrations of pro-inflammatory cytokines that produce the inflammation that injures the lining of the lungs, leading to pneumonia, as well as increasing concentrations of anti-inflammatory cytokines. Evidence supporting the role of vitamin D in reducing risk of COVID-19 includes the outbreak occurred in winter, a time when 25 hydroxyvitamin D, 25 OHD, concentrations are at its lowest. That the new number of cases in the southern hemisphere near the end of summer are low is also another indication. Vitamin D deficiency has been found to contribute to acute respiratory distress syndrome, and case fatality rates increase with age and with chronic disease comorbidity, both of which are associated with lower 25 OHD concentration. To reduce the risk of infection, it is recommended that people at risk of influenza and or COVID-19 consider taking 10,000 IUDs of vitamin D for a week or for a few weeks to rapidly raise the 25 OHD concentrations, followed by reducing that 10,000 to 5,000. The goal should be to raise 25 OHD concentrations above 40 to 60 nanograms per milliliter for treatment of people who become infected with COVID-19, higher vitamins of vitamin D3, higher doses of vitamin D3 might be useful. But the recommendation is, hey, listen, we need to up our vitamin D intake. Now, do we just go and willy-nilly, arbitrarily increase our vitamin D intake? Or is there a recommendation? Is there a guide to this? Jump into the stew pot to look at some of the comments there. It is time for us to grow what we eat. I have friends that have space to do that. And I have some friends that don't have the space that are doing it. Because where there's a will, there's a way. So they create the space. Another comment here, I'm not going to take what's given to me. I'm creating my own path and inviting the bold and the courageous to join me. All right. What is that path? What are you inviting the bold and the courageous? What path are you inviting the bold and the courageous to join you on? You know, that is the question right now. Okay, I was going to take a break, but I have a call, so this break is going to have to wait. Greetings and salutations.
Greetings, my absolute favorite DJ.
Oh,
how are you?
Flattery will get you everywhere.
I know, that's why I do it all the time.
Miss Thea, welcome.
Hey.
You calling me to tell me that you're going to line up my massage? I'm ready. You ready for me? Is that what you're calling me to tell me?
Oh, yeah.
See, ladies and gentlemen.
What else did you think I called for?
See, I'm getting mine. Are you getting yours? Call her up. 954-655-9000. And it's your segment too? What? Well, the end of it.
Oh, well. I was trying to type, but you were talking too fast. And I figured, let me just call in and share.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can just share what I have to say because my fingers don't move fast enough on my tablet.
Okay.
So, due to COVID-19, I have been forced to work from home. Blessing in disguise.
Oh, I was about to say, you made that sound like a bad thing.
No. And I thought it was going to be a negative thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't think that I would have the discipline to take care of work and also take care of myself.
Right.
And I am taking my breaks.
Yeah, I remember that show.
I go outside and I get my sunlight. My desk is by a window and I open the blinds.
Let the sun in.
For that sunlight in and I go outside. And I think my neighbors look at me really weird because I'll go in the front yard
and just stand out there.
Stand and just no, it's not the way. It's the way I stand. I have both my arms open up to the heavens and just soak in the sunlight. It is such a feeling. I mean, you gotta try it for yourself. And maybe if you're not comfortable in going in your front yard, if you have a backyard,
right,
you can practice it in the backyard first.
Mm-hmm.
But on a serious note, though, that sunlight really, really makes a huge difference in my energy level and my concentration.
Yeah. See, it helps, taking that break helps, and taking that break and adding some sunlight. There you go. We're on to something
Yeah.
there.
And it's like I hear people of our complexion complain about, oh, being out in the sun is going to make me darker. It's going to hurt my skin.
Mm,
Last time I looked, I'm not getting darker, and my skin is still beautiful.
there we go. Yes.
And I'm more focused, and I have a higher energy level. Win, 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 win.
Mm. And, even with the whole getting darker thing, what makes that such a bad thing?
I
That's.
was about to say that. I have seen some women. The other day, I was actually on social media, and they had a post
Mm-hmm.
of a young lady who made the Guinness Book of World Records as being the darkest
I
supermodel.
saw her picture. Yes.
Wasn't she drop dead
Beautiful.
gorgeous?
Well,
No
I shouldn't
makeup.
say beautiful, because beauty comes
Oh
from the
no,
inside out. Yeah.
she's beyond. She's beyond beauty. She is the epitome
Mm.
of beauty, and I'm saying that as a black woman
Yeah.
who is natural. I am so jealous of her, and that's in a good way.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
And I mean, she was not wearing any makeup. I doubt if any of the photographs that they shown were photoshopped.
Mm.
But I am just looking at, oh my gosh, this is what, when I grew up, I was taught to be ashamed of my beauty like that. And
Yeah.
she did not get that from some room or some machine or whatever.
And her skin was just flawless.
Flawless.
I used to go to community college with a young lady who was just about that dark. And when I tell you, flawless skin, it's like the darker you are, the less flaws you have in your skin. And I'm like, oh, wow. And it didn't help that she carried herself with and had a really delightful shape too. But just going back to the skin,
Yeah, just saying.
have to complete that whole imagery for people, But
Thank you. I know you're a visual creature.
but yeah, very much so. But here it is. She was just stunning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, each time I come across someone that has this darker pigment, I can find little to no blemishes. And it's just wow.
Yeah, it is. Because growing up, I always had acne issues.
Mm.
And I would try to find everything possible to cover it up.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I stopped putting all that crap and go out in nature and get some sunlight and fresh air and all of that stuff that my face actually cleared up.
Did you change your diet too?
Oh yeah, I had to.
See? We glow from the inside out.
Yes. And my mother is what is it? Yeah, my mother's 84. And would you believe me if I told you that woman does not have a wrinkle?
Your mother's 84.
Yes.
Mm.
Oh, my father's 93, if you want to go there.
You see that right there. Long livers. That means I should be getting my massages for quite some time. I should check out getting my massages.
I'll be around for a while.
Yeah, you coming from all these long livers, I'll be getting my massages
Yeah.
still. Yeah, I'm a check out getting massages.
But back to my mother, I mean, I grew up seeing her eat stuff. My mother doesn't, her body really cannot process processed foods.
Mm.
So if it doesn't come from the ground,
Yeah.
it doesn't go in her body.
Yeah. That's what's up.
And I remember, I forget which hurricane it was that knocked out the power for about 2 to 3 weeks. And that woman went in the backyard, and nature kind of helped her because it blew down the trees
Mm-hmm.
that she used to make the wood fire.
Yeah.
And that's what she cooked on.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, man, that food tasted different.
Yeah. I remember one of the hurricanes. I got a rim, and I was working. I was working at a tire shop, so I just took home an old rim, and I had a little
Taking
mesh,
work home with you?
right? And I made myself a coal stove
Yes.
during one of those hurricanes, and let me tell you,
Food tasted different.
yes.
My mother doesn't use powdered stuff to season her food.
Mm.
She gets the fresh spices.
Nice. That's what's up. I'm lazy. See, there's a comment here in the pot. I stand in the sun every morning and also do grounding. Even that right there, a lot of people they're not aware of what grounding is and the benefits of grounding. And I probably should get into. I should do a show with some of those. One of my healthy loves I'm gonna do with some of these techniques to help balance out the body. And to let you know, also tell her I love her mom.
I definitely will pass that along, but and one of the reasons that I really got on here tonight is to let my dark colored sisters know that it is okay to get out there in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
It does more healing, and it is more beneficial than the damage that you hear that it does for you.
Yeah.
If it was so much a bad thing, why are lighter complexion people out there
all the time
soaking it up and try to look like me?
Yeah.
Why?
And when they can't go out there, they're going to tanning beds.
Yes, and then they're going to turn around. Oh, no, don't go out in the sun. It'll burn your skin. It'll cause this. It'll cause cancer. No. Don't listen to them. And you're probably going to touch on this, but there are healthy times. There are times to go out in the sun when it is healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do you know what those hours are?
Yeah, typically before 10 a.m. and after 4 p.m.
After 2 p.m.
Yeah, but 2 p.m., 3 p.m. in South Florida is still pretty baking.
No,
sun.
It's still baking, but it's still hot, and because of the humidity, it's going to seem hotter.
Yeah.
But between 10 and 2, that's when the rays are supposed to be damaging.
Yeah, the most damaging rays, I say. Yeah.
Right.
Because of the angle of the sun, depending on where you are. Well, depending
right.
on... Yeah, So, yeah, that's,
and of course,
that's typical to say that.
Black don't crack, so we can go out there and the good Lord will take care of us.
Well, many of us work out there in the sun, so...
Right. But just the fact that my sisters don't want to go out there and be healthier and stop using all of these expensive products that has all these additives and preservatives
Yeah.
that will cause the cancer. Just go out there and get some sunlight, ladies, gentlemen, and take your kids out of the house and go let them play in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Let them sweat. They're not gonna die. Let them when they're sweat. Yeah, they're gonna get funky. Go throw them in the tub, but the shower just wash them off.
Yep. And next day, put them back out there again.
Put them back out there.
Yeah. It's things have changed so much when I was a child, and you'd hear a lot of people say this. When they were young, they were told, "Get out of the house."
Oh, please.
But make sure you come back in here before the street lights come on.
Before, right? Well, see, at least you had street lights. I wasn't that fortunate, and our house wasn't big enough for us to play in it.
Well,
so we had no choice. We had no choice but to go outside and play.
I didn't come in before the street lights came on because most of my playing happened out in my yard between my yard and my neighbor's yard, and we didn't even use our gates. We jumped over the fence.
Yeah, you better not open that front gate.
No, we chose not to open the gates because it was more fun to jump over the fence.
Yeah, to jump over.
Yeah, we had a wall that we would sit on between our houses.
When they came after you, you didn't have time to stop and open that gate. You better know how to jump over it.
But these are the things.
I digress.
So, we spent a lot of time outside. Now we don't spend as much time outside. And back when I was young, growing up, junk food was a treat.
Yes, it wasn't our normal diet.
Now it's the other way around, it seems. Junk food is a norm. And a proper meal is a treat.
Right.
But again, these fast food restaurants and these corner store chains, you find them mostly in the minority communities.
In the minority communities, yes. Because I remember one morning, and this is a true story. One morning, I went to work out, and on the way home, I was craving coffee. Now, for those who live in South Florida, they know where Coral Springs is.
Right.
And I went to work out in Coral Springs. I found a McDonald's 2 blocks from my house.
I am guessing you don't live in Coral Springs?
No, I don't. No, and I left my trainer on a hunt to go find a cup of coffee, and I love McDonald's coffee.
Okay, shameless plug.
That's about. Yeah, no. I am not. No, don't get me wrong. I am not plugging McDonald's, but it's something about their coffee that's the only, other than my own. That's the only place I will get coffee from.
Okay.
And that's the only thing I will have from there. And I could not find one in Coral Springs.
Well, these are the things that they speak volumes, and people tend to miss them. We don't hear them. It's so loud, but we don't hear it.
Yeah. Not only don't we hear it, we don't see it because it's right there in front of us. It's so blatant.
I would go in parts of downtown Fort Lauderdale, and you would see fast food restaurant after fast food restaurant. You get confused. You don't know which one to go to. And but then you go a couple blocks down the street, same
Over
place,
to Las Olas?
downtown Fort yeah, you hit Las Olas and you can't see one. You can't find one to save your life.
I can tell you, I am very familiar with Las Olas. And there is not one of the fast food restaurants from the major chains that we know about
Mm-hmm.
is over in the Las Olas area. There's not one.
But you go up the street though.
Yeah, you go like 2 blocks to the south, 4 blocks to the north.
Yeah.
And the reason I know this is I deliver one of my side hustles
Mm-hmm.
is I deliver for
One of the food deliveries.
food delivery company.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I am like, oh dear Jesus, when I deliver an order from a fast food restaurant, it is never to one of the affluent communities.
Mm.
And I don't mean sometimes or once in a blue moon. I mean never.
Yep. You know, it's these are some of the things that we really need to take note of. It's not the main idea of tonight's show, but it's a contributing factor to what ails us.
Yeah.
And you know,
You know, a
these
lot
things.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
These things that are important to or the benefiting our health. You know, we need to be mindful of them. We need to be more aware. Go ahead. What you were saying?
No, I was gonna say, you know, the COVID-19, this virus, they are not reporting. How do I put this? Accurate testing results.
Yeah.
Because they're not testing in minority communities. And
Right.
if someone from the minority community actually gets infected, they are at a higher risk of it becoming fatal because of the underlying diseases that they have, the high blood
Exactly.
pressure, the diabetes, the obesity,
Yep.
you know, things like that. And where are they keep popping these unhealthy eating places?
Yeah.
In our backyard.
That's exactly where. And
Okay, I'm off my soapbox now.
you know what? You are going to lead me astray, and I do want to do some musical therapy tonight, and I want to touch on some more of this information. So thank you very much.
I can only lead you astray if you follow.
And to get my massages, I will always follow.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak, and good night.
All right. You're very welcome. Good night. Ladies and gentlemen, Althea SU, our very own Healing Heavenly Hands. That's the voice behind the Healing Heavenly Hands right there. All right, so let me touch on this bit of information here before I get out. Now, or before we transition into musical therapy. Long before SARS-CoV-2 became part of everyday life, Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institutes of Allergy and Infectious Disease, NIAID, believed vitamin C and vitamin D were important strategies for enhancing your body's immune system. Just 4 years ago, he was interviewed by a reporter from Washingtonian on how to avoid getting sick. He explained the importance of washing your hands, clipping your nails, and getting enough sleep. A fourth strategy he discussed was using vitamin C and D supplements. And he said it can enhance your body's defense against microbes. I take 1,000 milligrams a day. Many people also do not get enough vitamin D, which affects a lot of body functions. So that would be helpful too. End quote. In the current pandemic, the US has placed inexpensive, patent-free nutrition supplements in second place to drugs and vaccines, which come with a high price tag in addition to unwelcome side effects. In a more recent interview with Real Clear Politics, Fauci appeared to hedge his opinion. He stressed the availability of vitamin C as an antioxidant that's essentially totally harmless, totally harmless unless you take in a ridiculous amount. But when asked whether vitamin D might mitigate some respiratory infections, he said there is no definitive proof. He did not point out, though, that you're not likely to get hurt by it. Still, his answers suggest an unwillingness to admit vitamin D plays a proven and important role in infectious disease. Might Fauci's backpedaling on vitamins C and D have anything to do with the fact that he serves on the leadership council for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Global Vaccine Action Plan? We don't know. Maybe. He describes his litmus test for safety and effectiveness as being tied to randomized control trials. Quote, "That's why you keep hearing me over and over saying the best optimal way to do a randomized control trial is to determine as quickly as possible whether something works. And if it does, get it out there. If it doesn't, get it off the table." End quote. In what appears contradictory to his statement, Fauci said a vaccine may be released in the next 12 to 18 months. However, the standard steps to develop a relatively safe vaccine averages 5 years. It begins with 2 to 4 years of lab research, followed by 1 to 2 years of preclinical studies, and then phase 1, 2, and 3 trials. But the talk has been vaccines, not vitamins, not vitamin D for sure, but vaccines. Whatever happened to the simple, safe, and what has turned out to be effective methods? We just forget about those. We just ignore those altogether. That's how we operate. I say this all the time, and I've been saying it more now than I used to. I don't give information to say that I am your source of information. I give information so that those who are hearing can say, wait, let me look some more into this. So my job is to stimulate your appetite, not to satisfy your hunger. I need you to be hungry for this information. So go look for more. Do ask questions. Do question the information that I present to you. And then come back and tell me what you find. You can email me, you can Skype me, you can text me, you can call me, 773-789-STEW. I'm available. You go to kevinstew.com, the get in touch with, get contact me, get in touch with me section is at the bottom of the page. Just scroll down there and type whatever. It comes straight to my email. You know, you're scared of needles, you won't be getting any vaccines. Well, I don't blame you. I really don't. Not something that is coming out in a year or a year and a half. That cannot be anywhere near safe. Nor it can be anywhere near good for us. I'm going to take a little break and then we come back and we're going to do musical therapy. I want to thank Reggae Global Entertainment for sponsoring this segment that we're just closing out now. Thank you, Reggae Global Entertainment. Reggae Global can be your booking agents. They can take care of your tour management, your legal contracts, your copyrights, your publishings, your trademarks, your legal service referrals. Just give them a call, 954-998-8034, or visit them at reggaeglobalentertainment.com. Tell them you heard about them on the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew, and see what they can do for you. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we jump into some musical therapy. It is Tuesday night, Healthy Love Night, right here on kevinstew.com. We'll be right back.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
It takes an entire village to raise a child. Hello, I'm Paul Campbell, here to talk about PALACE. Peace and Love Academic Scholarship. This nonprofit group supports students facing serious obstacles from entering or continuing their studies, not because the grades are failing, but due to the lack of financial support.
Over the past 8 years, PALACE has awarded 600 scholarships valued at approximately 50.3 million Jamaican dollars, or 415,000 US dollars.
Together, we must build a better future for our children. Please visit www.palace1.org and make your donation to brighten the future of a deserving child. Palace, preserving young minds for posterity.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others, and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulseemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
It's Chris Center of
representing for DJ Kevin. You see me, I say, I don't know the boss. You see me, I say, DJ Kevin Stew and the night shift radio show. Yo, it at the thing, turn up the thing loud. Wow. DJ Kevin Stew have the heart of a champion. Never underestimate, just choose him. The silver line behind the dark clouds. DJ Kevin Stew believe him, and that's no doubt. Salute the night shift radio show. Christine, it's a heart it up. Loud. For the beast.
This is Gia. This is Gia Yee, and you're listening to The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew.
Is it getting better? Or do you feel the same? Will it make it easier on you now? You've got someone to blame. Well, it's one love, one life, it's one need in the night. One life, it's a share. Leaves you, baby, if you don't care for it. Did I disappoint you? Leave a bad taste in your mouth. You act like you never had love, and you want me to go without. Well, it's too late tonight to drag the past out into the light. We're one, but we're not the same. We get to carry each other, carry each other. Whoa.
Welcome to Musical Therapy. This is the sound of Cesar, his rendition of One.
Have you come here for forgiveness? Have you come to raise the dead? Have you come here to play Jesus? To the lepers in your head? Did I ask too much? More than a lot. You gave me nothing, now it's all I got. We're one, but we're not the same. Yeah, we hurt each other and we do it again. You would say, love is a temple, love's the higher law. Love is a temple, love's the higher law. You ask me to enter, but then you make me crawl. I can't be holding on to what you got when all you got is hurt. One love, one blood.
I want to say thanks to GMAT Music Solutions for sponsoring this segment of the show.
Do what you
GMAT Music Solution brings your event to life, providing audio engineers, DJs, bands, singers, musical equipment, singers, did I say singers yet? PA systems, stage and light production services. Just give them a call, 754-307-GMAC. That's 754-307-4622. You can also visit them at GMAT Music Solutions. As a matter of fact, I encourage you to do so, because you can do your shopping there also. sound of Cesar.
Lord, watch over me with thy rod and staff as I travel these streets, day out, day in.
This is his run. It's called Resilience.
Protect those dearest to me with a ready sword. Let no harm come to them from the enemies. Many said there's no God, so they infiltrate and manipulate the simple and innocent. Polluting the minds, their agenda. Imposing laws of their sinful cause they want us to accept. I stand resilient. I know. Every knee shall bow and every tongue confess. I stand resilient. As you said, one of my words goes astray, but another shall pass it. Sometimes I feel alone, on the spot I feel alone, but I know I'm not, 'cause your seen eyes watching over me. I'm resilient, 'cause I know you rule and reign. Yeah. Some say if you make it in a life, you have to know if you play ball. Not even like the terminology, not like how we sound at all. Them say you can't reach nowhere if them no sign it off. Me I feel laugh to myself like a them name God. Well, I'm a lion in this jungle, still I remain humble. The road may be rocky at times, but my faith, Lord, it never stumble. You say the liquor what the righteous have, better than the riches of the wicked. Not one of your seed shall sit by the sidewalk and beg. I stand resilient. I know, 'cause I know every knee shall bow and every tongue confess. I'm resilient, 'cause you said one of my words goes straight to the sometimes I feel alone, on the back I feel alone, but I know I'm not, 'cause you're all seen eyes watching over me. I'm resilient, 'cause I know I'm not a perfect man, Lord. I've got my own demons, yeah, but you'll never see me sitting in the council of the ungodly. 'Cause I know it, you, all things are possible. No weapon can come against me. With you, victory's guaranteed. I stand resilient. I know, 'cause I know every knee shall bow, every tongue confess. 'Cause you said, one of my words goes straight to the sometimes I feel alone, on the back I feel alone, but I know I'm not, 'cause all seen eyes keep watching over me. I'm resilient, and that's why I'm resilient, 'cause you rules and reign. I stand resilient.
The track is called Resilience.
I know
Hezron. As we go through this our musical therapy of this Healthy Love Nights.
Sometimes I feel alone. The bad to feel alone. But I know I'm not. 'Cause you're all sinners watching over me. And I feel it. Yeah. 'Cause I know you're ruling. John rules and reigns. John rules and reigns. Ruling. John rules and reigns. It will John rules and reigns.
This is the Twiggy-rific one. Twiggy.
Ever walk away from it. Don't you quit.
It's called Don't Give Up.
Don't give up. I am asking you to stay upon it, pray upon it. Don't you ever walk away from it. Don't you quit, cannot play with it. Don't give up. You gotta know some talent. You never borrow it, no money spent. Can't get you out, tell them don't even try. And then better go repent. Live your life as it was ordained. It will be sometime not, but most time rain. Easier said than done when you're the one who is feeling the pain. So you have to stay upon it, pray upon it. Don't you ever walk away from it. Don't you quit, cannot play with it. Don't give up. I am begging you to stay upon it, pray upon it. Don't you ever walk away from it. Don't you quit, cannot play with it. Don't give up. Can't keep throwing the towel or feeling blue. 'Cause one day you're gonna end up be the victor too. Just be brave, my sisters, my brothers, I'm talking to you. Your reward will be great if to yourself you'll only be true. But you must be there upon it, pray upon it. Don't you ever walk away from it. Don't you quit, cannot play with it. Don't give up. And you must be there upon it, pray upon it. Don't you ever walk away from it. Don't you quit, cannot play with it. Don't give up. Shoop, shoop, shooby-dooby-doo. The wagon is and we run come follow you. Give thanks for everything. Success and favor your hard work will bring. Hey. Shoop, shoop, shooby-dooby-day. Everything up we run out of your way. It's now time to win. Tear them blocks down, now back down, 'cause every down out them pray upon it, pray upon it. Don't you ever walk away from it. Don't you quit, cannot play with it. Don't give up. Stay upon it, pray upon it. Don't you ever walk away from it. Don't you quit, cannot play with it. Don't give up. Who's done it?
This is Ed Robinson. It's called The More We Are Together.
They say it takes love to make the world go round. Even though we know it takes hate to make it all tumble down. Yeah. We know that what goes up don't always come back down. No, but when it goes around, we know it's have to come back around. So if you're digging one pit, my brother, better you just dig two. And if you're setting one trap, my sister, set another one for you. Don't you know things are always never what they seem? No, my reality could sometimes be your dream. Yeah. The
the son of Jawara Brown. New music. It's called Light Up the World.
Solidarity. Light up the world. Rescue it from darkness. Shine a light for everyone to see. Come, let's sing it together. Come, let's start with charity. I'm not just a man, no matter where it's from, whether he's black or a white man. We are all one. It's not hard to understand. This world belongs to all of us. There's no need to fight over us. Let's unite together and fix things up. Let's light up the world. Rescue it from darkness. Shine a light for everyone to see. Come, let's fix it together. Come, let's start with empathy. Let's go and shine the light within our homes, then every city and every town. Shine the light on the streets, in every lane and alley with the people we meet. Shine the light on the highways, shine the light on the byways, till the darkness disappear and there is no more fear. Let's light up the world, rescue it from darkness, shine the light for everyone to see. Come, let's fix it together. Come, let's start with charity. We must light up the world, rescue it from darkness, shine the light for everyone to see. Come, let's do it together. Come, let's start with empathy. Starvation must die. Nakedness must die. Homelessness must die. Disease must die. Child must die. Racism must die. So we can all live a happy life. Come, let's light up the world. Rescue it from darkness. Shine
Do your bit.
for everyone to see.
Light up the world.
Let's start with charity.
Everything that's wrong, they have made right. Everything that's right, they have made wrong.
6 minutes to go.
Are these lawmaker guys
This is Wayne Stoddard. It's called Raise It.
coming with their lies and illusions? They've gone against nature and breeding confusion. We are the children of the light. Walking through the valley, we will never fear your night. And I say, raise it, raise your bloodstained banner high. Wave it, eyes the wave it to the sky. Declare it, shout the name of Adonai. Yahusha HaMashiach and them have to step aside. Raise it, raise your bloodstained banner high. Wave it, eyes the wave it to the sky. Declare it, shout the name of Adonai. Yahusha HaMashiach and them have to step aside. So who are they trying to fool? And who are they trying to school? Coming with them bag of lies and them fake device. Application hypnotize. We are the chosen generation with the righteous meditation. Tear down your temptation. And we are the children of the light. Walking through the valley, we will never fear your night. And I say, raise it, raise your bloodstained banner. Wave it, I say wave it to So who are they trying to fool? And who are they trying to school? Coming with them bag of lies and them bag of fries and them hypocrite disguise. Not to decide, is to decide. Open up your eyes, read between the lines. Whoa, avoid annihilation, go read Revelation and wave it. Wave your blood stained banner, raise it. I say raise it to the sky. Shout the name of Adonai, Yahusha HaMashiach, and them a fist step aside. Raise it, raise your blood stained banner high. Wave it, I say wave it to the sky. Shout the name of Adonai, Yahusha HaMashiach, and them a fist step aside. Raise it to the moon.
With just about 3 minutes to go.
Shout the name of Adonai, Yahusha HaMashiach, and them a
Halfway through the night shift week. Inviting you guys to come join me tomorrow, Real Talk Wednesday, where we close out the night shift week. It's also known as Marlon's favorite night shift show. I want to thank you all for sticking around tonight, and tonight I leave you with this tribute to South Florida native that passed on, transitioned this past weekend. We didn't know this was gonna happen, and Dottie released this track by Dottie, her first official single release. It came out last week. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dottie. Tonight is the night.
Oh my God.
And this is how I close out tonight. Betty Wright, tonight is the night. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world. From right here in South Florida, I bid you good night.
Make me a woman. Ooh, you said you'll be gentle with me, and I hope you will. I'm nervous and trembling, waiting for you to walk in. I'm trying hard to relax, but I just can't keep still. No, I can hear your car just now. I wanna play a big girl and put on a sexy smile, but I know so little about what love is, and I just can't help acting like a child. You're knocking on my door and you're ringing my bell. Hope you're not impatient after waiting so very long. A whole year I put you off with my silly hang-ups, and we're both old enough to know right from wrong. Tonight is the night that you make me a woman. Ooh, you said you'll be gentle with me, and I hope you will. I'm nervous and trembling, waiting for you to walk in. I'm trying hard to relax, but I just can't keep still. No. Hey, baby. Ooh. Hold me, thrill me
make me a woman. Yeah.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.